Now I'm going to go back to a topic where the last month's video I was watching, there's still a lack of understanding. And although you say, I understand, I can see the question marks on your faces. Yeah, I understand. You don't understand. So we'll start again. Okay? Each and every moment, you're a different person. You all agree? Me. So you take all the photographs, click, 30 photographs, 50 photographs, put them all together. They're not the same person. They are an aspect of you. Okay? Let's give an example where Neva was explaining about her life and what happened some 20 years ago. X and her in a house. Established that everything is in the now, past, present, and future. Do you agree on that first?
Yeah.
So imagine a vinyl, this old vinyl record, yes? Everything is imprinted in there. Every motion, every thought is in the vinyl record. And it's spinning all the time. Everything is happening at the same time, isn't it?
Mm.
Yes? So
just like the painting behind you.
Yeah. So anytime you lift the record, the needle, and move it around, you're moving into parallel alternative realities. Agree? What's happening? Everything is happening at the same time, past, present, and future. And the only truth is the present, but even the present, it's so quickly, it finishes. The present is only a nanosecond, not even a nanosecond. Let me tell you how fast we move, right? You know what an atom is, how small an atom is. The diameter of an atom is what we call a Planck link. Now, a Planck link is 10 to the minus of 54. Now, what does that mean? 10 to the power of minus 1 is minus 10. 10 to the power of minus 2 is 100, yes? It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. 10 to the power of minus 54, that's how small it is. It doesn't even exist, but that's how tiny. And the speed for it to travel is 1 Planck second. So can you imagine how fast we are changing from moment to moment to moment to moment? It doesn't seem as if we are changing. Is that understood first?
Yes.
So when we talk about 1 second, it's more, it's less than that, it's faster. That's how fast. So it's like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how the movements are, the movement. But you see it all in one movement. We create motion and time, which is an illusion. Did you get that?
Yeah.
So time is an illusion. There are only little snapshots everywhere. And through our frequencies, how we pick up these snapshots and join them up, we then have motion. And through the different frequencies, we are moving to different time and space. Okay? Now, I mentioned 20 years ago, I was at a house, right? So Neva is now 50, and so we time travel back to when she was 30. Not Neva, an aspect of Neva. I go back from 76 to whatever it is, 20 years ago, 55. So time travel back there as well. It's a co-creation. We agreed to do something. Her ex was also there. So we all are there at that time, the three of us having a conversation, okay? And I said to her ex, watching him behave, I said, you are a bully. I said more than that. And he said something, mumble, and
excuse me, sorry, bully how?
It was running Neva down. Whatever Neva was saying, he was putting her down all the time in front of me, which was very wrong. Right? And every time Neva was making something, he was making a face. You don't do that when a complete stranger in your house. It's complete lack of respect. And he knew it. Every time Neva was trying to say something, he would override it and say she was wrong. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and listen to it. So I said what I thought. Anyway, I left because he told me to leave, and that was that. One day I spoke to Neva. I said, if you stay in this relationship, one or two things are going to happen. You're going to get throat cancer, cancer of some form down the road, right? You either get out of it or do something about it, okay? So we went back. We time traveled, yes? From the 50-year-old Neva to the 30-year-old Neva, okay? But the future is still here, in the present. Okay, now, when Neva was 30 years old, her future, which was 20 years ahead, yes, or more, there's other futures, came back to her, giving her advice what to do. Your higher self, which is your future self. Do you get that point? It's very important here.
Explain again, please.
Okay. Imagine now that we are when Neva was 30 years old.
Yeah.
Yes? That thing happened. But we also know that in the future, because we have to say it's the future, there's a 50-year-old Neva, isn't it? Which we know the Neva now. Yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at 30 years old, we did not know about the Neva future, do we? Or the Arram future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes? But all the time, when Neva was in that difficult position with her ex and everything, she was getting dreams, she was getting messages all the time from her future self telling her what to do.
Oh, okay.
From the Neva that we know today, who's awakened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's kind of guidance
Yeah?
from higher self.
Guidance from your future self.
Yeah.
Yeah? Which is your higher self, your guides, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
So when Neva was, I think, I don't know, was it 10 years ago or 8 years ago? You had all the cysts.
10 years ago.
But it doesn't really matter. So the Neva at 40 years old had all those things that was wrong. The doctor told her she was going to die within 8 hours.
48 hours.
So hold this now, because once you grasp this, it will explain everything. So she actually died. Now, nowadays, it's not about the physical death. You can choose to die and come back again, or you can choose to die and change your mind and say, I'm going to jump to another reality. So that Neva, that model of Neva, the abusive wife, the one that is weak, actually died, but decided that, hold on a minute, I don't want to go through the whole birth process again. I will jump and move myself into a parallel reality. Any questions there? This is very important for you to understand now.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm telling you, it's so cool.
So, that model that is the weak woman died, but she
So
jumped.
it's jumping the timelines.
Well, in our language, yes, but she actually jumping in the now. Okay, but that one already in the now has a new plan, isn't it? And then 40 years old, she became stronger and stronger, getting advice from the 50-year-old. But I would say go further, 200 years. But for this time to get your head round, because you said it's 50. Yeah? The 50-year-old has come back all the time to the 40-year-old, giving messages all the time, guiding her to be where she is now. But now she's getting messages from the future again.
Yeah.
An aspect of her.
Yeah, I've started.
Get your head around that.
I've started getting these messages. I'll just share with them. I mean, it's been happening for a long time, but this past week, it's just been at 3:30 in the morning and 4 in the morning, and it's asking me to sit up in my bed. So I sit up, and I'm actually having a conversation like I'm talking to all of you right now, with my higher self, and it's saying, you got to learn to be a bit more quiet now. Just be quiet.
Whatever it's
saying. Okay, it's saying a lot. And then
the future self.
Then at about 5 o'clock in the morning, I say to her, I just want to go back to sleep again because I'll wake up at 6. I need some more sleep. And when I wake up at 6, I have a blank mind of not remembering a single thing it said, but it's like I don't remember it in my mind, but I know it inside me. And knowing.
Let me explain that, right? What happened is when you get a dream or whatever it is where you think you missed something, no, you already been downloaded with the stuff. You need time to digest it in the body that we are to get used to that frequency. But it's already there.
Yeah.
And so when we raise our vibration up, then it trickles through that we're sitting down and things come out from your mouth. They say, where the hell did it come from?
Yeah.
Got it? Good.
Yeah.
Now, any questions so far? Every big accident you have, you could have died. Like I think in my case, when I was reviewing what has happened in my life, I died twice, right? The first time when I was a very wealthy businessman. I was traveling down the motorway at 12 o'clock at night, and this huge concrete appeared from nowhere on the motorway. And my car just crashed into it. And said, how on earth is there concrete on the M1? Anyway, for a split second, I think I died, but I didn't die. Again, the same thing went back into the situation where I decided to jump into another parallel reality. Cut a long story short, that rich man, in a couple of years, lost everything. And that started my journey in terms of where I am now, okay? So my higher self from 20 years before came back and say, hold on a minute, you're supposed to be doing something, blah, 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 and you get shifted. And the last shift was 2 years ago, if you remember, when my lungs collapsed and I was in hospital. I died there again, right? But this time was a better one, because this time he told me, you know, you're not messing around, you're not going around playing squash, you're supposed to be doing what you're doing, right? So what happened? I changed. I mean, you know, I had no hair before, and now I started to grow hair. I didn't care what I want. And the lessons and the information, if you can remember back now into the last 12, 13, 14 months, how different and how quickly that I come up with things. I got shifted. Yeah. Any questions so far? That is going to happen to you as well. So when you have, like, you fell down on the beach and broke your little toe, you got shifted.
Sometimes when you go through the, sometimes when you go and you don't follow your higher self, you actually get sick. Because you're kind of resisting your past.
Doesn't matter whatever happens. If you go against your higher self, the higher self says, you got free will, right?
Yeah.
You don't make it this time, you know, I'm going to wake you up all the time. And if you decide to not wake up, it's also cool. It's okay.
Yeah.
But nobody's going anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had many warnings if you keep thinking back what has happened.
Yeah. No, I had similar
So
health issue in the hospital, and then after that was like everything switched totally different.
You've been shifted. Now you can understand why it happened, and where you are today, you can understand you were shifted towards being awakened now.
Yeah.
So basically, to get shifted or to understand that, it has to be basically bad stuff happening to us. So
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I mean, you said that you nearly died, and I got this. I broke my tooth, but I didn't learn anything from my broken toe. So
okay, but from your understanding, you were giving a label bad stuff. Now, if you understand that any stuff that's happening is good stuff, when you fall down and break a leg, wow, good man, what have you got for me? And when you lose your wallet or something, you say, wow, what have you got for me again? Perception, isn't it? Because anything that happens is not bad, it's back to this, isn't it? What's the meaning are you going to give it to you?
And it's always going back to what have I got to learn from this experience? What have I got to learn from this? And
what is the experience?
And I find for me that the more and more, when I sit down and meditate, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, just going into that presence meditation, that's when the answers come. What have I got to learn from this today? What have I done today? How, you know, for me, every night, and as I go to bed and I meditate, I say, how can I better myself, the bigger self, the higher self, more in this next now moment from the previous now moment? Wrong question. Every eternal moment is a gift.
Better. Every moment is the best.
Every moment is the best.
How can I have a different experience? When you say best, you're in the future. And your best means you're not satisfied in the now. Got it?
Yep.
So rephrase the question tonight. And any answer that comes, it's okay. There's no right one, no wrong one, because whatever you're going to take, you're going to learn something.
Because life is full of surprises.
Yeah. So the only way, the only guideline is say, what excites me? And follow that.
What excites me?
What excites me at that moment. Because if you start to contemplate and say, is this, is this that, is this that? You don't trust, do you? Instead of every situation, every juncture, whatever I do, I'm learning. So go back and correct that, okay? Okay. Sorry, somebody want to say something?
No, I said that to me, I find that when we are growing in vibration or whatever, that's what I feel, that more challenges come to you. So I quite get afraid sometimes of that, because it's like a more challenges come to you, like making you to really confront your faith or your beliefs, or I don't know.
Yes, but you will not be challenged if you cannot handle it. So don't be afraid. Used to the challenges. They're not challenges. Come on, give me the big one now. There's nothing, no big deal. Come on, universe, can you not be more attentive and give me a real big one and shake me up? Nothing will shake you. Like I do. Nothing will shake me. There is nothing bad. Let me just go to the last part now in terms of putting it all together. Okay. We actually, the human being, yes, as I always tell you, is the fingertip of the whole body, which is consciousness or your energy body. So this little fingertip, yes, is the human being, the human you, right? Got it? Now, if you imagine yourself sitting in a 3D show, yeah, big screen out there, 3D show, and you're watching all the things, all the excitement going on, yes, and you get frightened, or joy, whatever it is. The feelings are real, isn't it? What's on the screen? Is it real? No.
No, it's
a movie.
It's a play.
Yeah, it's a play. And life is a play. You are playing that in your head, which is being projected out in what you see. So we come back to understand that life is an illusion, because we come and say, how can something be so real? I've just explained it to you. It's a 3D show. It's not real. But the feelings, the 3D show, makes you feel real. True or not? Nothing is happening. You're riding the roller coaster, you get killed in the thing. You feel as if you're killed, but you're still alive. You go through the emotions of it. Do you understand this?
Is it like what's playing out in our heads is like HD on a different level? Like it's not even HD, it's like super HD.
But whatever you want to call it, yes. Whatever it is, it's not real. It's a projection of your thought. So yes, the mirror effect, everything comes out what is running here. Making sense?
It's very important what you're running here.
Because once you get used to it, yes, and not say like, oh, it's bad, it's that. No, you can change it. It's only another bloody movie. Let me go out and check. You know, you're the projectionist as well. You're gonna go and put another story into it and change it. Because what is it we say? Niva used to say it's always about holographic. So nothing is real. And even in the present, each plank time is so fast, it's not real again. Questions?
Arram, you mentioned about certain things which I believe personality. I mean, with my observation, I always felt personality. Probably the context, behavior changes, but the personality never changes. So only during some
no.
was my
a behavior is a personality.
Okay.
So it's changing all the time.
All right. So, but when you mentioned about the near-death experiences, I have seen quite a few people who have changed their personality. I mean, that's my observation. I'm trying to relate what you.
Okay, they change. Okay, they change into a different person. Yes. Okay.
So
different version.
Yeah. Do you mean to say that when we take different timelines or versions, we can voluntarily change our personality or a behavior? Is that what you
You change everything. You change your history, you change your life, you change the person you are.
So there's no need of near-death experience. You can voluntarily change it.
There is a near-death experience. This is what the near-death experience is about. When they reach that point, it decides to come back again. So therefore, they experienced the near-death and didn't experience the physical death. So when they came back to the now time, they decided to jump into a different frequency, a different parallel reality, and their whole life changes. And then in the storybook, when you read, it says, I saw this, it told me this, it told me this, and my whole life changed. No, I'm I'm explaining to you now what is actually happening. They jump.
Okay.
Because they got instruction from the future self to say, this is the route. You finish with that one, it's dead.
Okay. So, which is the bigger devotee I should be? Is it the future self or my higher self?
Doesn't matter.
Just to be.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Okay. God damn it. You feel better with it?
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm to all the panelists, because this is what I am struggling in. When you all mentioned about the mantras, I started to recollect what I learned all these days with the entire group. But I often don't use the mantra. So I would like to know how many times people use per day initially so that it has automated, because I have not put into practice. I only think about let me be now, which works sometimes, which doesn't work sometimes. So these mantras are powerful. How many times I should change the stories, and how many times I have to change the picture in my mind?
All the time.
Very powerful.
Because each and every moment you're a different person.
Is that voluntarily done, or it is quite automated?
But with everything with practice, it becomes what?
So I should practice more and more.